You're listening to The Courage to Live, a grief podcast hosted by the Child Neurology Foundation. Together, we're building a community for parents, caregivers, and all those who walk with the pain of losing a loved one to complex healthcare needs. We invite you to connect with us along your journey. You're not alone, and your child's story continues through you.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Brad Thompson with the Child Neurology Foundation, and welcome to our Willow and Wind podcast. And before we just jump into our guests and our conversation tonight, I just want to remind everyone, first of all, that you take this as you can and as you want. It is okay to stop and start and all of the things, and it's okay if you just have to take a break or even leave it altogether. The purpose of this this whole mission of Willow and Wind is to give you a safe place to experience your emotions however you need to do that and however it works for you. And so we want you to know that. We are thankful that you're with us. And we look forward to any comments and give and take from you as you watch the podcast in weeks to come. And so if you've seen our other podcast, you've met Courtney before. If you've watched the interviews of our Willow and Wind team, you've met Blake before. But we have a special guest tonight, someone that you've not met before, and that's Spencer, who is married to Blake and is even willing to admit that publicly. And so we're Spencer, we're really glad that you're with us. I'm especially glad as a guy and a dad to kind of balance this, because Courtney and Blake 2-on-1 is very overwhelming. And so I am very thankful that you're joining us tonight, and I look forward to hearing from you about your experience over the past year.
Glad to be here.
Good. Our theme for this podcast is to talk about how we honor our loved ones, the milestones and the anniversaries, the rituals that we develop or maybe have continued in their honor. And so I just want to open it, and this is a free-flowing conversation. So anybody just jump in that wants to. I would like to start with some rituals that I would just like to hear some of the things that you're doing as an individual, as a couple, as a family, that just keeps you going as you navigate this journey.
So something that I do personally, we have a blanket that was Lucas's, and it's large, and it was given as a Christmas gift to him. And it has his face on it, like a big, beautiful picture of his face. And then he is like Captain America, like the body is Captain America. He loved this blanket so much. It didn't matter if it was 100 degrees or below zero. He had this blanket on him. And he he loved hiding underneath it. So he would say, "I go hider." And he would want you to put it over his head. And I think that leans towards his autistic tendencies, but man, it was fun. And so that blanket stays on our bed. I sleep with it every night. I wore it through the first 2 weeks after he passed away. I think I just had it around me. I can kind of remember having it. I knew that I had it with me at all times. But every morning I make our bed. I try to practice that, and I have a specific way that I fold his blanket and lay it out at the foot of our bed, and I talk to him in his sweet face on that blanket, and I kiss the blanket, tell him how much I miss him, tell him something I'm excited about or sad about, and then I go finish getting ready to go to school and teach other people's kids.
That's beautiful.
Love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So one thing that I do is, of course, we have Bentley's room exactly the way that it is. The the bed is exactly, his toys are right where they were when he passed. But one of my biggest things I think that I would say is a ritual is every morning I go in there and I open his curtains and just let the sunshine come in. I say good morning to him every time I walk in there to open his curtains. And I don't know what started this, but when I walk out of his room, I rub his wall and I'm like, I love you, buddy. And that's something that I do and I have done since January 11th of 2024 or 2025.
The years get weird
They
quickly.
do.
So weird.
I
They
can't
do.
believe it's already been a year for us, but
Yeah. I don't know, but it seems like, and y'all can correct me, but it seems like in some ways time goes so fast, but there are parts of it that seem like it's never going to pass,
That's
yes.
right.
right? But you look up and a year is gone, and you're like, where did it go?
Yeah.
And then there were parts of it. Yeah, Spencer, are there any particular things that you do or that remind you or keep you connected?
I definitely have my little things that I do to stay connected. Like I don't know if Blake's ever mentioned it, but like I've got a old Jeep that I've made into like a memorial piece. So I piddle on that, and that's like
Yeah.
my coping mechanism, I guess you could call it.
That's great. When you're out there working on it, what are you thinking or not thinking? What brings you peace from it?
Just hoping that he would be proud of it, I guess you could say.
That's what we would do. Well, Brad wouldn't because he has no mechanical bones in his body, but that's what, real men would do things like that with their boys and create those memories. And so to continue to create that memory and honor of your son is just an amazing thing, right?
We actually have a picture of Spencer. It was storming, or supposed to be storming. So I'm like freaking out that him and Bentley are both outside piddling and playing with tools and messing with this big metal Jeep. And mom brain's like, lightning, hello, get inside. But I have a picture actually of Spencer up under the Jeep and Bentley's holding a wrench, like ready to
Ah,
hand it to him. So that just fits perfectly that he has made this Jeep for Bentley. And
I love it.
in our series, we talk about missing and honoring, um, and that's such a beautiful picture of that, Spencer. You didn't even hear the teaching, and yet here you are living it out perfectly. That gosh, I had this planned for us to do, and now I'm doing it for him, and he is doing it with me. Is just an amazing form of honoring. I think that's great. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think one of the reasons it's so important for me to have you on here, Spencer, is because dads do this so differently than moms do. And the way we create memories, the way we continue to remember is just so different than mom in general, right? And so almost giving other dads permission to go work on the Jeep is a really big deal, right? It's a really big deal. Now, Blake, I would say if he's spending all his time out on the Jeep, it's probably not just remembering, but that's a
Oh, I hear
that's a
about
whole
it.
nother.
I do hear about it.
That's good and
Well,
healthy. I like it.
you have the get out of jail free card though, Spencer. I'm doing this for Bentley, right? She
yeah,
cannot argue with
exactly.
it. Right? She cannot
Exactly.
argue with it. So just keep that one in your hip pocket and use it when you need it. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? I know you've done birthdays and you've done anniversary days and tell me how you kind of led up to that. I've heard some people say that that some of the days themselves were not nearly as bad as the dread of them coming.
Yes, I can absolutely agree with that because um Bentley's death anniversary was on a Sunday, but I had already planned, like, if this is on a weekday, I'm not going to work. For his birthday, I told them I will not be here in a month in advance because I was just determined that I would be an absolute mess. But yes, it hurt, but I was actually quite the opposite. I wasn't a mess. I actually was laughing and enjoying the time with the family and honoring Bentley. So for his death date, we had our immediate family come to our house. We ate McDonald's, which was his favorite. Chicken nuggets. If you knew Bentley, he had chicken nuggets with him. So we all got McDonald's that night, and we actually done lanterns. We put them up into the sky for him, and each of us wrote a message on our lantern for him. Um, so that was, I don't want to say fun, but it was at the same time. Like it really was, it was just a day full of love, I think. And then for his birthday, when he passed, his birthday was right around the corner. So he passed on January 11th, and his birthday was February 2nd. So in 2025, we done a balloon release at his gravesite. Everybody wore purple or their Bentley shirts. Um, and we sang happy birthday to him and let off our balloons and just kind of mingled and talked about him. And we had that same thing that we did this year for his birthday was the balloon release. And I kind of was nervous because I was like, not as many people will probably show up. It's kind of like a first birthday, everybody comes. And then the second birthday, not as many. And then it just starts trickling slower. But the amount of people that came for his second birthday in heaven was just the same as the first birthday in heaven. And I think that really helped me a lot that day to show that he is still loved and people are still remembering him and wanting to honor him and be there for us even a year later. So that really, our support system, we're lucky to have for sure.
Awesome. Spencer, what was it like for you? Are you an introvert or extrovert? Like, how do you, because I know Lucas's dad, Phil, he and I have handled so many different things very differently. What was the release and McDonald's and all that? What was that like for you?
This year, whenever we done it, it I wasn't really nervous about it. Yeah, I mean I was kind of I really don't know how to explain it, but it was it was exciting. I
Good.
mean,
Yeah.
just because of all the people showing up, it was very enjoyable. You know, I was dreading the day that it was coming, but it was very enjoyable.
I love that. I think Blake, when you said I don't want to say fun, but it was fun. And
Yeah.
I think I feel the same way. Like it wasn't our family, Lucas has three big sisters, we have three daughters, and so we decided, because I'm a teacher and I teach elementary kids, and the girls were in school, and his this was his first death celebration, question mark. It is a celebration because we know where he is, we know
Yes.
we'll see him again, but it's like that, carrying two opposite things at the same time. And so we went on a cruise, which felt real bougie and like, are we really doing this? And so, but we did it. And I think it was a really good choice for us. But I will say, his heavenly birthday fell on a Monday, this year. And I was a freaking wreck on Sunday. Like, and for whatever reason, I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, this isn't even the day. Like, why do I feel? And I sat in our little cabin on the cruise ship and just bawled for really a long time. Like, I kept thinking, okay, it's got to stop eventually. And I just was not okay. But then Monday I was fine. I,
Yeah.
I felt fine. I was
And
like,
that's,
okay, it's a day and we did
yeah.
it.
And that's kind of how it was with us. Like, I remember, so we done a balloon release, and there are people out there that are like, save the animals, like, and so I had actually gotten a message from somebody that was kind of not necessarily attacking, but saying that there was better things to do to celebrate my loved one. And that just like rubbed me wrong. And so, and this was the day before, and I lost, like, that really took a toll on me because I was like, I am trying to celebrate my dead child,
Yeah.
and and so that ruined my whole day. So I was exactly like you. I think I spent half my morning in the bed just crying, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm doing what thought I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, kind of different. Yes, I was upset that he wasn't here, but I also was upset too because I felt like I wasn't doing the right thing. I felt like maybe I should be doing something completely different. But then I sat back and I was like, this woman don't even know me from Adam. Like, she
Right.
just messaged me randomly from Facebook. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go do my balloon release. I'm going to celebrate my kid, and that's going to be that.
Yeah. And I'm going to say you did something wrong. Here's what you did wrong. You cared about what somebody thought.
I knew he was going to say that.
I
I knew
know,
he was
yeah.
gonna say
And
that.
I'm so bad
Okay.
for that.
Well,
We may need to
it,
have a session, just me and you, Brad, and we may need to work on that.
but in a different way, I hear it in Courtney too. We're afraid of what somebody thinks when we say we celebrated his passing, right? Well, we didn't celebrate his passing. We celebrated his life, and we celebrated his meaning that continues to us, and that's worthy of celebration. And if a Facebook stranger doesn't get that, and I would even take that away. I would say if a person close to us is uncomfortable with that, that's kind of work that they need to do that I may not be the person to help them through it, right? But there's this great irony where the bereaved or the grieved, however you want to say it, becomes the person who kind of takes the high road in things, right? Both of you basically said this. We were concerned about what other people might think if we did this, right? Rather than saying, now, again, y'all heard me say this, Spencer probably hasn't, but heard me say that as long as it's not illegal or sinful, it's nobody's business, right? It's nobody's business. Now, I'm not forcing you to think or do what I do, but I'm also not allowing you to influence the way we're doing it. And I think that's an important message for our families to hear, because I think it impedes our movement in the process when we start to worry too much about what other people think. Y'all
I
can
have a quick
argue
question
with
for you,
that.
Brad. I was actually thinking about this the other day, and it just reminded me when you said that. I don't know if it was the same for Blake and Spencer or not, but I spent Lucas's whole 6 years with us concerned about other people's view of my child and the way I was caring for him and the way that I was, like, when we're out in public, and my boy, he did not care that he needed to be quiet. That was not an option. And so you could suck it. Like, and so we, but Phil and I had to learn, and not, I don't think we nailed it. I don't think that we really even, I mean, we made progress not caring as much, but people were uncomfortable often, or they weren't and they loved it. But I feel like it was this we were very aware of the people that were around us and the way that they were viewing us and the way they were looking at Lucas. And you're also looking out for like safety, because Lucas would just take off, or he thought every dude was his best friend and he wanted you to hold him. And so, and then also if he has a seizure at church or a seizure in public, or then I'm not only am I concerned with my son, but I'm also concerned about the people who are standing right behind, and they're panicking, and I want to make sure they're okay. I don't know. I think that it's just like this weird continuation of our whole lives caring for a child that is neurally
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. Haley's 36 and I still have that worry. right? Of how do people view her? How do they view me because of the way they view her? And, you know, and that is so joy stealing and peace stealing, right? And I think especially in y'all's positions, I don't want anything stealing your peace because it's so hard to come by. It's so hard to find, right? And so, yeah,
So
celebrate.
practice. You just have to practice it.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
whole lot of practicing, Brad.
It is. Life is really practicing, right? So y'all have talked a little bit about the places you find comfort. Their blankets, their room, their opening the shades, the Jeep. Are there other places that just in the daily routine you just kind of sense their presence, or maybe even invite them into where you are? I had my counseling mentor talk about in these stages that what we really want to do with our loved ones who have passed is we want to relocate them in our life, and that, you know, my brother and my dad have passed, and but they join me everywhere I go. Why? Because I can hear their voice and I can see their face and I know what they would be saying, you know. Well, how do y'all kind of take Bentley and Lucas with you when you go?
So I have my Bentley necklace and I wear it every single day. And I do feel myself like if I'm walking through the halls at the school and I do like kind of feel myself missing him, I'll just pat. And that's my way of like, hey bud, I love you. Hope you're having a good day in heaven. Things like that. And another thing that I do is at nighttime before bed, I talk to him and I tell him about my day. And so I feel like that kind of is bringing him to me right before bed, because I would do that if he was here. I'd tell him good night and that I loved him and I'd kiss his forehead and probably be telling him about my day, even though he probably don't care. He'd rather just be in there playing with his toys or doing something. Um, but I think the whole my necklace is a big thing, and I do have some bracelets and stuff that I wear, but my necklace is something that I wear every single day.
Yeah. Spencer, I don't take you as a big necklace wearing guy. So
No.
how do you kind of take him with you through the routine of every day, common day?
Yeah, so I don't wear no necklaces, so I can't do it that way. But like at work, I've got, because I have an office job as my day job. So my mouse pad, it's a picture of me and little man and Blake on it there. So that's how he's with me at work. And then of course he's my screensaver on my phone too. So that's always my go-to. Even
Yeah.
though I don't have to be on the phone, I just pull it out, look at the picture, and then go from there with it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's good. I think
love that.
Phil is very similar, Spencer, because he also is in an office and he's got like Lucas's pre-K graduation picture in his office, and I think he's got a few others that he looks at, and I think he talks to them often. Like he'll come home and tell me a story that he told Lucas. And I do the necklace as well. I have a necklace, and I constantly touch it and I play with it. It has a red shoe, which is part of Lucas's story, and then a little thing that says "Live like Lucas" on it. And then again with the shoes, it's on my shirt. Red shoes are a big deal for us, but I just bought I have red shoes I wear all the time. And I just bought a brand new pair of red Converse, and I was so excited. And I like walked around in my new Converse and I was like, look, Bubba, I'm like showing him, Mommy, look at Mommy's new red shoes. Because his red shoes sit up on our mantle in our living room. And so I see them every day. and it has a very deep meaning for me. And so anytime I saw a lady walking on my way home today and she had red shoes on, and I just smiled and I was like, you have red shoes. You don't know that that's cool. It just, I don't know. It's those little things where I see it's like these little winks from Lucas or these little like kisses that he blows because he would do this, like not actually, but I see it and I hear it and sometimes I can feel it. Like I don't know. And it's those little bitty things. It's stuff that probably nobody else would notice. I think as parents, that's the way it goes, right? You know things about your kids that no one else got to experience. And what a blessing it is that we are those people and
Yes.
we have those things.
Yeah.
Um, one of my mom's really good friends had stickers printed for Bentley, and of course, Toy Story. That was Bentley's thing. He loved Toy Story. So they have his name and the dates and a cowboy hat and then a little ribbon with a purple ribbon with Dravet syndrome on it. And we have handed them out. There's some in Iceland, in the UK. They're all up. Seriously, Bentley is all over the world with these
Hey, he's in our
stickers.
house. We have one on our refrigerator.
See, perfect. So he's seriously everywhere. And that is something that brings me a lot of joy because he was only 2. So I feel like there was so much he didn't get to experience.
Yeah.
And with the stickers going around the world, I'm like, my little boy got to see that. He actually, we had another Gervais family take his picture to China, and the big tower thing was back there that it's known for, and that was just cool. Like he went all the way to China. I've never been there. Like that's just
Awesome.
so cool to
Yeah.
think that he's been there.
Somebody who watches this, who knows what that big tower thingy in China is actually called, and we can slide
Stick
that
it in
in.
the comments below, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
please and thank you.
What I'm really appreciating about this is that you're normalizing the everyday thing. That it's not we don't it's a big balloon release or a cruise or all those things, but it's also red shoes. It's a sticker. It's everyday things that just one of our great fears is somehow the memory would fade. And y'all just give this great testimony uh, of how it can't fade because they're so just entrenched in your life. And I would say it's a great testament to the 4 of you, even though Phil's not on this, the 4 of you, because you allowed your children to be known around the world. You risked putting them out there, right? You took them and let them experience the world, and therefore the world gets to know them and appreciate them. And I'm just wondering, listening to Spencer and Blake talk, that I don't think Bentley got called by his name very often. I think because I've heard Little Man and
Little
Bud,
man.
but that's yeah. Did he even know his name was Bentley? I don't know.
He definitely knew his name was Bentley, but he had tons of nicknames. So another big one is B. We called him B a lot. I don't know where it started. I don't know where it came from, but we called him B. He was an only child, but I called him Bubba. It's just something I did. Little man, Bud, Buddy, all the nicknames.
No, those are all terms of endearment, right? And I just it allows me to get a picture of y'all with him, and I think it's precious to me. I hope it is to someone else, but yeah. Preparing, you both experienced the holidays. How did you prepare for that? How did you do that? Especially, it's very different because Bentley was an only child, and Courtney, y'all are still trying to normalize life for your 3 girls. How did you navigate that, both of you?
Well, for us, it was I didn't know how, and I was terrified. The last thing I wanted to do was wake up on Christmas morning and be at home. Uh, like I couldn't be okay with it, and so Phil and I decided that we were going to take the girls to Colorado. And so we left. We were not here for Christmas Eve. We were not here for Christmas Day. We were traveling. We were in a Airbnb at a house. It was gorgeous and it was idyllic for me as his mom. But ultimately, what I saw with my daughters, especially my oldest, who's 15. Gosh, I am feeling extra emotional tonight. Sorry. I I had to sit with her. I had to sit with her in her room. Sorry, on Christmas Eve night, and she got to say all of the really hard things about why this was a terrible choice for us to make. And we made that choice for her and did not give her an option because she also handles her grief of her baby brother differently than we do. And I think that that's part of being a parent, grieving, and then having to also continue to parent your kids who are also grieving deeply. And I think that there's no right way to do it. And I think that we did the best that we could. And I think ultimately, years down the road, she's going to look back at that first Christmas without Lucas and be grateful for it. I really do think so. I think we made some really sweet memories. We talked about Lucas a lot, and we celebrated what we celebrate at Christmas, which is Jesus. But we also just got to be together and not. I think in the big picture, what I'm most grateful for is that we didn't have to cater to anybody else at Christmas, and we didn't have to deal with anyone else's feelings and their sadness and their grief. Ours was so big that I think that I think it was the right choice. I think as parents, we did the right thing. And I don't know what next Christmas will look like. We'll take it as it comes, but it's we're again just practicing and learning what it looks like for our family.
So I want to add to that. I want to say that I think you did do the right thing. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to go. I'm going to cry. You wanted to go and you wanted to be away, and you didn't want to have to deal with everybody else's grief but yours and your children's. And I think you did the right thing, and I just want you to know that from the outside looking in, you did the right thing.
Thank you, friend. I love you.
I love you too.
I think it's another one of those spaces where we could get really wrapped up in what other people might think, right? And there are just some spaces where I'm an extroverted person, but when I'm hurt, I just want to go. And Karen can join me, but there aren't very many other people, right? And I need the other people to not get their feelings hurt about that. But if they do, they need to deal with that, right? Because right now, I'm just trying to get the next foot ahead of the other one, right? And then I really wonder about that for Spencer, you and Blake, because I remember, gosh, those were the best Christmases ever when your kids were little and full of amazement. And I'm sure you had these pictures of, in your mind of what that next Christmas was going to look like. And then it's you, right?
So we actually moved into our house December 27th of 2024. Bentley passed on January 11th of 2025. All the Christmases before that, we went to my mom's. We stayed the night there on Christmas Eve, which I say all, I think it was two.
Yeah.
But we we would go to my mom's, and honestly, mainly it was for me. Mainly it was because we were in an apartment, and it wasn't a home, even though it was our home. Um, I didn't feel the Christmassy thing at the apartment, so I wanted to be with mom. We done all the Christmas Eve things, read the books, watched the movies, made the candy, woke up, opened Christmas gifts, saw what Santa brought, and the Christmas of 2025, we were supposed to stay home. It was supposed to be our first Christmas as just the three of us, opening gifts, seeing what Santa got. And I regret it because Spencer had always told me, like, I want to stay at the apartment. I want to have a Christmas. And I'm like, okay, next year. We'll do it next year. We'll do it when we're in the house. It'll be next year. And next year came, and we never got that Christmas of just the three of us. So that hurts. I know I can't predict what's going to happen in the future, but if I could go back, I would 100% give Spencer that Christmas at home that he wanted, that I couldn't, that I was too stubborn to give him because I didn't want a Christmas in an apartment. But this year, for Christmas, we did stay home. We both woke up on Christmas morning in our home. Obviously, it was different because Bentley wasn't here, but we did get a card, and we each wrote in it. We got a little Monsters truck, so we had that put out. In the stocking, we had the little car put above the stocking, and I put the card in the stocking. And then we got ready. We put our Bentley shirts on, got ready for the day, and we went to my mom's first to do Christmas because I still have little siblings, so they're early risers and want to get to their Christmas gifts as quick as they can. But then we went to Bentley's grave and we read the card. We put his brand new Hot Wheel on his headstone, and we just sat there until we were ready to leave. At first, the couple months before Christmas, we had told each other that we probably didn't want to watch kids open gifts, that it I don't want to speak for him, but for me, I felt like that might be a little bit hard for me to be able to watch another young child open gifts or see what Santa brought. But I don't know what changed, but like a week before Christmas, I was like, no, I want to watch. I want to see my nephews open their gifts. I want to see my little brother, my little sister. I want to see as much Christmas spirit as I can see while also grieving what my Christmas was supposed to be. And I know that's not the wrong thing to do, but in my mind, I was like, why am I wanting to do this when I have had it planned that I am not watching a single person open a Christmas gift? I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see the Christmas wrapping paper thrown everywhere. I just want to sit at home and be a hermit. And that's not what happened, but I don't know about him, but for me, I'm thankful because being around my family and his family and our family as a whole, I feel like that did help me a lot that day. Hearing the people talk about Bentley um, was nice too. It was sad hearing the ones say, "Oh, I wish Bentley was here. I wish Bentley was here." That stung a little bit, but I know why they were saying that because they did wish Bentley was here, and I do too. And so part of me was glad to know that they are missing Bentley just as much as I miss Bentley.
They lost a cousin, right? They lost a nephew. They lost a grandchild, and they had pictures of that Christmas too. And it's great to be able to hear them. Spencer, how was it different? If it was different for you,
I mean, I know I didn't
you
get I know I didn't get the Christmas that I had been wanting with him to start our own tradition, but I don't want Blake to I don't want Blake to put it on her that we never got that. I'm very grateful for doing it at her mom's house for the 2 years that we got to do it.
Yeah, that lack of a crystal ball can really get us, right?
Yeah.
And what we coulda, woulda, shoulda done if we only knew the future, right? Well, that's a pretty tough burden to carry. In fact, it's an impossible burden to carry. And so just remember that. But you do, and it's on tape now, Spencer, that she admitted that sometimes she can be too stubborn.
I heard
So,
it. I heard it.
so you have
We can cut
witnesses.
that out.
Oh no, this brain doesn't remember a lot of things, so don't count on it. Is there anything that I think you've covered and you've done such a great job, but I think I would really love to finish this with some ideas around finding comfort in remembering, not just missing, but the finding comfort in the way you remember your boys. Is there a thing or a habit or a ritual that you just take? You've talked about the blankets and the windows, but that just gives you great comfort that you would encourage another person with.
I think it's going to be individual for everyone. And I think that recognizing that and honoring that is really important, because if it is just that you tap the door frame as you're walking out of your
Rub
house,
the wall.
if that is your thing, if that makes you feel connected to your child, do it. And it does not matter if it makes sense even to you. It does not matter. Because if it gives you any kind of peace as you're walking through your day, then do it. And we're proud of you, because none of this is easy. And we don't have, Blake and I and Spencer and Phil, like, we don't have answers to any of this. I personally, for me, it needs to be tangible, like tactile, because I am so desperate. I got to watch babies in the nursery at church the other day, and I sure did smell all of their heads and put my lips against their faces. And sorry if that's not allowed, but it's fine.
I guess it's allowed. It's just weird, Courtney.
I'm
It's just weird.
sorry. I'm just weird.
I'm a baby sniffer. I will. I love the way a baby smells.
Golly, I needed it. Like, I'm holding, and I was like, oh, yep, it's happening. And I like,
Yep. You can't
and
stop it
Those
once it
pictures are
started.
going to be posted outside the church nurseries. Do not let these people.
Oh, yikes. But I think that the beautiful thing is, even if you don't have a ritual, even if it's not a habit, even if it's not something you do all the time, if you do something and it brings you joy and it reminds you of your child, honor that, recognize that, give space for it, give time for it, put words to it, write it down, tell somebody. Because saying things out loud sometimes, even just sitting here tonight, I am not an emotional human. And just being able to have a space where I feel safe to talk to my friends gave me freedom to feel my feelings. And I think that that's a really big part of grieving in general, but especially when you're grieving the loss of your child.
I definitely want to add to that real quick. Almost to say, find something that you can honor or remember your child with, whether it is rubbing the wall or slapping the baseboard or whatever it is. Find something that you can hold on to, because the little things help. They really and truly do. And even if it's crazy, so what? Like Phil said, don't worry about what other people think. Do it for you.
Yeah. Spencer, last word. Anything?
No, I think they both covered it pretty
I
good.
just noticed I called you
Covered it.
Phil, Brad. I'm sorry. It just came out.
It's all right. Phil's going to be glad his name
No.
got said, so we're good.
No. All is good. Well, let me I will say, draw the line at sniffing other people's babies. Okay,
Stop it.
don't make
Brad.
that the ritual that gets you through the day. That might not end well
gosh.
somewhere.
Maybe
down
not
kept that to
strangers'
myself.
babies.
There you go. That's the one.
Yeah. Can I just close by saying thank you, and thank you for your, it's probably not even, but your realness. Okay. For the freedom to be a little raw and a little emotional, because that's real, right? And I just appreciate getting to know you over the past several months, and for the way you're willing to share yourself. And Spencer, I know this is so far out of your comfort zone
Really
that
far out of it.
but thank you for doing that,
You
because
did
there are
good.
other,
He did
yeah,
great.
there are other dads exactly in your space that are
Yeah.
wired similar to you, that are wondering, am I weird because I do it this way, or does anybody get it? And so you being with us and sharing that tells those men, yes, there are. And that's just incredibly valuable. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Blake and Courtney, you are always, I love having you, because I'm never quite sure what's going to come out of your mouth, but I know it's going to be good, and I'm going to laugh. Yeah, I'm going to laugh several times, probably at you, and you're okay with it. So thank you. Thank you for that. Phil, behind the scenes, thanks for all you're going to do to make this a little more watchable. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you for joining us for The Courage to Live, a grief podcast hosted by the Child Neurology Foundation, sponsored by BioCodex. Together, we're building a community for parents, caregivers, and all those who walk with the pain of losing a loved one to complex healthcare needs. We invite you to connect with us along your journey. You're not alone, and your child's story continues through you. More information available at childneurologyfoundation.org.